And welcome back to your Wednesday afternoon interactive talk right here on 102.7 1300. Maybe as you do the ride home from work, or maybe you're heading out to work, whichever way. It's always nice to have you with us. All right, this afternoon I've been privileged and I think I've been graced with the presence of the writer of an upcoming. I was waiting for this for the longest while because I heard about it, but it was only in the mind. But I think it's just ready. But let me set you up to know who exactly this person is. She is a writer, of course, and a producer of short films. She had one, I don't know if you remember, Mother Knows Best. And I was hoping that what would be next would be Father Knows Best, because we were so familiar with that on television. In any case, she came with something else. I think it was The Wedding, and another short film that says St. Martin is my home. So she has been busy. Other than that, she's a school teacher, so just so that she's not writing film. But I could imagine that a lot of inspiration comes while she is at work. Her name, Atahlia Daye-Rogers. Yes, Day, as in daylight, D-A-Y. Atahlia Daye-Rogers, she is phenomenal, because she have written a play that I wasn't part of it, but I knew of the preparations for it, and she worked so hard. I gave her a little tip here and there, when it comes to the final product, when you switch from scenes to scenes, some things that you can do, because I know of it myself, but I'm not going to take any more of her time. She's here with me to talk about her new play, Finding BOAZ, and she's brought with him the preacher. If you know the story about Boaz, he was supposed to be a husband. But a husband can't be a husband until that husband is married. And that person cannot be married unless there's a pastor. So, you see the coalition? All right, good afternoon to you. But Pastor Nanton is also here, my dad, who is also in the film. And we'll be talking about what's going on. So let me turn to you, Atahlia, and say congratulations, you finally bring the product forward.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Moore. Good afternoon. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem. And now that you brought it forward, you're creating some excitement, because now people want to know what this is.
Yes.
Finding BOAZ. So what can you tell me to set us up to start this whole conversation?
Okay, so first of all, Finding BOAZ is not a play, it's actually a film. So we're bringing it to the big screen, and it's, of course, speaks about the story of Boaz. And Boaz in the Bible is considered to be a good man. And this film is all about love and relationships, and we're bringing awareness to the sexually transmitted infection called HPV, the human papilloma virus.
Break that down for my simple mind.
Okay, so
HPV.
HPV, it's in short, it's called HPV, is one of the most common sexually transmitted infections. And in my research, I've learned that God has designed it so that even if we have contracted this, our body can actually heal itself. But guess what? There are different strains to HPV. And if you're going to heal now and then recontaminate yourself, you may become so unlucky that you pick up that strain that may lead into cancer, cervical cancer for women. And there are different cancers that men need to be conscious of, because they can also get infected. Yes.
Shall I ask you a daring, funny question then?
You can go ahead.
Are you going to have some sex scenes in this short?
Listen, Mr. Moore, you need to come. You need to come. It is an exciting film. It's very exciting, but you need to come to see it.
Is that a yes or no?
You need to come, Mr. Moore. We can't give out everything. You need to come.
Be careful with the words you use.
Come and see this film. Yes, the excitement, yes.
You have to tap into Wendell,
The excitement.
Pastor Nanton, what kind of coaching are you providing here? You're just going to have a short piece of display. Let me leave the writer of the concept idea of the play itself to Madam for her to explain. But you playing any advisory role here, or additional or changes, as the case may be, to best suit biblical terminology of marriage?
Well, yes. In the context, not advisory, but I played a role in terms of acting in the film.
Okay.
So there's the role of the pastor, which provide counsel, and there is the message, an actual message, and there's the wedding part of it. So those are the roles that I played within the film.
I think I used the wrong word when I said advice, but I think the right word is counsel.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So there is a counsel scene. I think that will be in part 2.
Yes,
but
it comes out in part 2.
Yeah. So that part I played.
Mm. But of course, you've seen the other part being rehearsed.
Some of them.
Preparation for this.
Some of them, not all of them. Some of them, because they happen at different points and so forth. Of course, when we were there, we were just voicing it out.
Mm-hmm.
You have an idea as to what is coming and so forth. But some of them I was privileged to see, but not all.
Mm-hmm.
But however, the film
Yeah.
The film is a very powerful film.
I was just going to ask you that. If how important is that when it comes to telling a story?
Yeah.
Because I'm reminded of some critics on there was a play that was about Jesus and his punishment leading up to thing, and some people think that the message was missent, overdone or something like this.
Yeah.
But how important it is to have these kind of things to send an important message.
Well, considering that it's an educational film,
Yeah.
because you want to bring out the concept of the misuse of sexuality and at the same time the proper use of it, because those are the areas that's my summary of the film. You know, showing how persons, because of the misuse of their sexuality, can end up in abuse, can end up becoming traumatized, for lack of a better word, and at the same time how a switching lifestyle can bring such contentment and, you know, bring about transformation in life.
I guess how seriously you take it, by the way. If you take it seriously, it can bring contentment.
Definitely.
But if you're playing around with it, it's a different story.
And that came about very strongly in the film, and that's why you say one person is to go and see it, because it is going to bring that kind of awareness that I think our community needs at this time. You know, sexuality is just thrown out on the street, if I can put it so. It is just it is slighted, and a lot of the problem that we are having today can be attributed to the misuse of our sexuality. You understand the fatherlessness, in some cases motherlessness, broken downness in families and so forth, the sexually transmitted infections, our inability to stop them and so forth. All of that is our sexual problem, because people don't understand that they are sexual beings, and as a result, misuse, abuse has brought about so many problems in society. So the film is geared towards showing you both sides of how humans go about using their sexuality and the effect, the consequences you will suffer as a result, be it good or bad.
Finding BOAZ is pretty much like a term that would be used when you talk, Atahlia, to someone who may be single.
Right.
And you ask them the question, how you doing? You're not married yet. And you say, I'm waiting to find my BOAZ.
Yes. And that has been the spin-off in the community. And, you know, we get lots of people got a kick out of it, because part of our promotion is that we have t-shirts on sale. And the female t-shirt would be, I found my BOAZ.
Okay.
And the male version would be, I am BOAZ.
Okay.
And then for the single ladies, it's, I'm praying for my BOAZ. So indeed, you're right. And it was a kick in the society.
Where did inspiration come from? Does that have anything to do with your constant rubbing of your shoulders with young people?
Yes, and indeed, because, you know, HPV is something that only focuses for the most part on the woman. And, you know, it says that women can get cervical cancer from it. But then we realize that it's so much broader than that.
Yeah.
And you know, the what the effect that can happen to young people, it is so much broader than that. Yes, I work in a school environment. I see kids who are, all very lovey and very touchy, and they're experimenting. And their experimenting may not be through intercourse, but they're experimenting nevertheless. And the awareness came, so you know what? I think they need to understand that although they're not having sex, they can still catch something. And a lot of people do not realize that.
How so?
How so? They
If a sexually transmitted disease can
Yes.
only be transmitted when having sex.
Not necessarily, because they're fluids, body fluids. So
Okay.
even if you're not actually having intercourse, the body fluids can also put you at risk. And the young people need to
Are
be
you talking
conscious
about
of that.
even kissing?
Yes, or doing oral.
Okay. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I was just about to ask you to
Yes,
define
and
term
doing
because
oral.
sometimes
Yeah, the thing is,
when you
the
speak
thing
about
is,
sexuality,
More
Yeah.
of orals,
Yeah.
you know, some persons accept it's not penetrating for them, they're not having sex.
Yeah.
yeah.
You understand? And sex is a broad term, so we have to really break it down when you're speaking to persons. So I know this is a long time ago that there are persons who say, I'm not having sex just because there was no penetration, but they were having oral sex, to give definition, and all the other activities involved, even anal, but for them they were not having sex because there was no vaginal penetration. So sometimes you have to define certain terms so that our culture could understand.
Not sometimes, all the time.
All the time,
You know
yeah.
what I'm thinking of? I'm just
Yeah.
going to filter that in here, not that it bears any consequence, but Bill Clinton in the White House.
Yeah.
With Monica Lewinsky.
He was right when he said that he don't have a sexual relationship with the person,
Mhm.
but their sex was of a different nature.
Yeah.
And I think that is
Yeah.
where it has to be defined. And I'm only saying this because it's important for people to understand that they can come up with this disease without having penetration.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just want the young people to be aware of that.
Yeah.
Because they all think that if they do certain things that they are safe. But no,
And that's why I asked if there was going to be any sex
you
scenes.
need to
in-
come and see Mr. Moore. Come and see.
You're
St.
not-
Martin people
I think she
come
wants you
and
to
see.
determine when you come.
But
But-
no, there are no such sex scenes. It's all suggestive.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course,
Suggestive.
sex scenes don't necessarily mean that anything is happening. You guys, when you
Yes.
when you have a camera and when you're doing whatever,
Yeah.
you show what you want to show,
Right.
and you get all kind of suggestions that it is happening when nothing is really
It's
happening.
left up to the
You
mind.
could never, if that was happening, there wouldn't be relationships when it comes to these people who are involved in film.
Yeah.
Because who wants their other half to be involved and say,
True.
does work? Oh yeah? I want a part of it. So Finding BOAZ is going to be staged on when?
Well, the premiere night is on February
let me
2nd.
see. I gotta be careful with my words because
Yes.
I'm saying stage
Yes,
as if it's
okay.
going to be a stage play.
No,
but
it's not.
a
It's
stage,
actually
it's
a
a film.
film.
Yes.
So the premiere night is
Premiere.
Thursday, the 2nd of February, and we will be premiering at the Bel Air. So please come, St. Martin. You'll see familiar faces. You'll see the beauty of St. Martin in film. And then all the other nights, it will be screened at the Cultural Center, the
Wow.
Phillipsburg Cultural Center.
Okay, so it will be shown for a period of time.
Yes, so I'm
on a
hoping,
regular
because the
basis.
idea is that
Okay.
everybody needs to come and see it. And what you need to know, Mr. Moore, is that the film was written for discussion. So everything that's in the film, we want to have a discussion about it. And because of that, we are going to be creating an activity booklet
Okay.
for Finding BOAZ. This is one for Mother Knows Best you can look through. But we'll be creating a similar one for Finding BOAZ with guided questions with certain topics that will be highlighted in the film. So it's a must-see, St. Martin. Please come out and support, come out and see the talent that St. Martin has. The film has been directed by Earl Duzong. He's also an actor.
Yes.
And it was filmed by Dennis Van Putten.
Okay. Wow. So this is your third or fourth?
My second major film,
But you've had
one stage
other-
play, which was The Wedding,
the
and
wedding.
a short film, St. Martin is My Home.
Mhm.
So this is the second film.
Pastor Nanton, is this your first time in a film?
In a film.
Yeah.
I've done stage plays before, but not in St. Martin, but this is my first time in a film, yes.
Mhm. And what it feels like? How many times you had to do what you had to do?
You know what? It was so natural for me.
Yeah.
I think they asked
First
me
take
to,
was all you needed?
didn't when we shot is one shot. That was it.
He was in his element. Seriously, he was in his element. He did not do take 1, 2, and 3, and 4.
I guess he's
It wasn't
groomed
necessary.
because he has to do the pastoral duties on a
Yes, he
regular
was in
basis.
his
Yeah.
element. It all came natural.
And then
That's
the other part was the marriage part. So
Yeah.
it was just natural for me because those are my line of function.
Okay. And as producer, you were satisfied, completely satisfied with the
Well,
first take?
I'm going to tell you. In the beginning, we did our auditions. We went through the process of seriously auditioning. Earl was like, if you're going to do this, let's do it good. So we went through the phase of auditions, and then we had rehearsals for 3 months. 3 months, 3 nights a week. We
Wow.
rehearsed. So Earl was like, listen, we got to do it good. And yes, big up to the cast of Finding BOAZ. Big up to our director, Earl. They did a phenomenal job. I mean, maybe I should not be the one saying it, but yes, St. Martin, I'm excited. And they did a great job. You need to come to see your people.
Why you shouldn't be the one saying it? If you're the writer and producer, I'm sure.
Because for
you
me,
will
it's all
be
good. It's all good. So
Yeah.
forget about the critics now. It's good. It's a good film, St. Martin, please.
It's a very powerful film. There's strong emotions coming out in the film.
Yes.
I mean, we as the cast, we sit and look at the first part, part 1 of it.
Yeah.
It from beginning to end. If you drop sleep, you had to be either seriously drunk or extremely tired. You can't sleep on this film. Believe you me. I was really excited looking at the film because the emotions are very strong. And that's a part that I think will be good for us to bring out at this point, because sometimes, even though a person might not be sexually involved with a person, they might be very much emotionally
involved.
and the
Yes.
pain can come
Yes.
from that.
Yes.
You understand? Because they become so attached with so much hope and belief. And this is one of the main characters in the film. She was so attached, even with all the, well, we don't say
Red flags.
horning and so forth. They say, we just say with all the booting. You understand? So I'm conscious not to explain that.
Yes.
With all the several partners that the main character had, and all of that was there, and she knew, and the contracting of, and she knew that, but she was so emotionally attached that it was difficult for her to just break it off. Even when she did, you saw almost like a rehabilitative process for that withdrawal and so forth. So it's it's a very good film, and it's going to bring that out so that people know you don't just enter into relationship lightly.
Yeah.
Don't take it for granted, because once you become emotionally attached, it can be very hard, and you can subject yourself to abuse that you really don't want.
Let me ask then, the main cast in the story then would be who? The BOAZ or the one who is finding BOAZ?
Well, in part one, the main character is not BOAZ just yet, but it's who we call Arnold. And later on, BOAZ came into the picture.
But Pastor Nanton was telling a story here.
Yes, he was.
From his perspective of seeing,
Yes.
And probably you're familiar.
Yes.
It's a Bible story, right?
It is, yes.
Yes.
But it had to bring out the first phase. You had to show the effect of making negative choices,
Making bad
choices,
decisions, yes.
right? So
Bad
that's
relationship
bad
choice.
relational choices.
Yeah.
So that came out in the first part.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see all of that coming up, because remember we talk about
Contrast.
having a bad relationship and then you're having a good one.
Contrast.
So the contrast, yes.
Well, what about the interim? Did anybody else featured in there until you get to BOAZ?
Many people, yes.
Yep.
Many persons, Mr. Moore. There are many people that came in between in this relationship. Too much to mention. While the cast was watching it, it was like, Miss Day, that Jeep has too many footprints. That was I've never heard that statement before. That Jeep has too many footprints going through it. I don't know if you can understand what they're trying to say.
Well, my ancient mind can't figure that one out, because I hear some statements from the
younger
generation
people, yes, and they know what it
Look at
means.
that car looks sick. And what they really mean, that
Did the
is
car
not
look good?
unhealthy. The car looks good.
Yeah.
So I've never heard about that
Yeah.
terminology, but I could imagine
Yes.
in the nature of the conversation
Yes.
what it really means.
So,
So it's something to look forward to.
It
And
is-
you're not
it is
prepared to tell
something.
me too much about it. You're
No,
not
I
prepared to
really, I
walk me
really
through.
want you to come to see it. You know, but I can tell you a little bit about our main character, Eve. Her name is Eve. She's young, she's beautiful, she's
Eve?
intelligent. Eve. Eve is her name, Eve, yes. Who is very reserved and searching for happiness. Her loyalty and faithfulness to her boyfriend transform her into a prisoner of love. She's very conscious of her body and her health. And that's Eve.
Mm.
And then we have her boyfriend, who's Arnold. He's a young man who has a very high sex drive and is not afraid to show it. He's a charming player and a smooth talker. He usually gets what he wants and does not take rejection well. He believes in enjoying life in its full entirety, and he does it carelessly and recklessly. And that's Arnold.
Carelessly and recklessly.
Yes.
Wow, he's dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he wasn't Boaz.
No,
He was
not
just
Boaz.
one of the.
Yes, he was
passing
our first
through.
love. Yes, yes.
Mm.
And we do have a trailer. I don't know if you would like to, play a little bit for the listening audience, but yeah.
Yeah, you had to
So-
send me that trailer. Put it in your system. That's okay. No. We'll save the trailer for when
Okay.
we have visuals. I think
Okay.
it'll be much better.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's time for me to take a break. I'll take the break.
Yeah.
And you were saying hopefully we would have been joined by another.
Right. Well, I guess he could not
Okay.
make it. Yeah.
Probably. In any case, I'm here with Atahlia Dey, who is the writer and producer of the play Finding Boaz. It's the perils of Eve's journey
Yes.
to the right relationship, I must say. That is
Yes.
the one with Boaz.
That's the one too.
And of course, she
Yes.
also has some paraphernalia that you can take advantage of. You just need to get in touch with her. She has shirts that say, I am Boaz. She has shirts that say,
I found my
I
Boaz.
found my Boaz, and I'm
Praying.
praying for my Boaz.
Yes.
So that's something to get your feet wet into as we start a new year. We'll come right back. We're also here with Pastor Nanton, who also did the marriage ceremony in the film conversation this afternoon with Atahlia Dey, along with Pastor Nanton Noland, who is here with me talking about a film that has been produced by Atahlia Dey, of course. And I don't know where she get the money from, but I would want to believe that somebody is playing some financial role here for you to have a cast of how many?
Quite a big.
Quite a big
Quite a
cast.
big cast. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The name of the film is Finding Boaz, and she's here with Pastor Noland Nanton. I want to address you personally and congratulate you on your doctoral degree. I was informed that I should properly address you as Dr.
Dr.
Noland
Noland.
Nanton. Well, I apologize, and at the same time, I'm happy for you. Anything with sex seems to be him being the master of it all. And he knows where I'm going with this.
That is,
But
you.
you know,
actually his
sex
ministry, though.
it shouldn't be a taboo discussion.
And it should not
It's
be.
a
Indeed.
wonderful God-given gift.
Yes.
We are the one who mess it up and make it
So true.
the way it can be to
Right.
the detriment of many, because you're talking about a possible disease in this film
Yeah.
that one can actually expose themselves to if they
Yes.
don't.
And others as well. Yes.
And all of it is just for looking for the right moment so that
Yeah.
you can really enjoy how
Yeah.
God meant for this relationship to be. And
You know,
even the sex.
you know what, Wendell, that's the reason why we're having so many problems. Because we're not talking about sexuality in a healthy manner.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
even from the church perspective, it is so sad that when it comes to the perspective of the church, we are so quiet or closed in when we're having conversation. But you pass on the road, bear can, advertisement of chewing gum, all the billboards, sexuality is heavily displayed.
Yeah.
And we are not having the conversation to let persons know
Music
that you
videos.
are a sexual being.
Yes.
And that's why we're having some of the
So
problems
they
we're
get the
having.
wrong message.
Exactly. And you will go only where your mind is filled.
Yes.
So if your mind is filled in the negative, obviously you're going to be more prone to falling within the negative line. And part of my aim is for my generation to understand that sex is a God-given gift, and it is something that we can use and enjoy, and we ought to enjoy it, you know. And but there are consequences if you go about misusing it that we are feeling today. Part of the problem, let's just to throw this in, the amount of children that we have who will not have their fathers at home simply because you have to share houses, and the pain that they feel, we will never understand the full effect of it
On them.
You understand? I mean, some of us, myself, I did not come from a family where both mother and father is. My father was about 50 minutes water speedboat drive from where I was living.
Yeah.
You understand? So we come up in broken homes, and it's because why? We feel it, we lick it, and we get problem from it.
So finding BOAZ means you don't have to go through the road that this person went through,
Right. And
knocking
they-
here, there,
And there where the
elsewhere.
discussions would come up. So we are showing you where all of these scenarios. Now let's discuss it. What would you do if you fall in a situation like this?
Yeah.
What can you do to avoid a situation like this? What can you do to take care of yourself? What about practicing abstinence? What about delaying sexuality? So all of these are the discussions that we will be spinning off from finding BOAZ.
And the healing aspect, what can you do to
Yeah.
heal? Because if you have gone through the ordeal, you need to be healed.
Yeah.
You understand? Because if you go into something else, then you're going to take all that hurt, and there's the
Carry
same
it with
hurting people hurt people.
Yes.
And sometimes you might deprive yourself because you see, in the initial, there's a part of the film that is real spicy. I tell the folks that come and see the film. In the initial part of her meeting BOAZ, there was hesitation.
Yeah.
And the reason why there was hesitation
Because of
is
the
because of what she came
Hurt.
through.
Yes.
So you don't want to be hurt again. So
Yeah.
even when true love, as we put it, really come before you, you are very hesitant.
Yes.
Because it's like, can I
You'll be
trust
hurt.
it? What you are
Because-
seeing is a man.
Yes.
And all you're thinking, all man is the same.
Yes.
So you pull back. And sometimes people deprive themselves of really having quality relationship because historically it has been so distorted.
Yeah.
How
So
long?
that part of the film is very
And
important.
then, you know, we want to also, you know, engage the young people and young adults. You know, what should you look for in a partner? What are the, you know,
Yes.
what does relationship goal looks like? What qualities would you like? You know,
Or even what it is. Because
Yes.
some people
So-
can think that a relationship
yes,
is actually having sex.
yes, true.
And if there
And
is
it's
no sex, it's not a
and you
relationship.
need to know that sex distorts everything. So once sex gets in the picture,
Yeah.
your mind is gone. You're not thinking clearly again. So these are the discussions that we want to engage.
I was just thinking about BOAZ's position, though.
Yes.
That had to be, because I'm sure BOAZ would have known of this young lady and what issues that she was dealing with before.
Yes, he
That
saw.
would put him in a
So.
spot where, yeah,
I
is
can do
this
better.
what I want?
Yes, and I can do better. You know,
Yeah.
that the boys went through all that thought.
Okay.
I think I can do
That
better
came
with
out
you.
in the film
I
as well?
think you deserve better.
Yeah.
Yes, all of that came out.
How long is the film?
2 hours.
Yeah.
It is really entertaining. 2 hours long.
Wow.
Yes.
How did it start?
How did it start? Meaning, what exactly do you mean?
Yeah, well, the film opened,
Okay.
and it's just something got to give you, because you're building.
Yes.
storyline.
Okay.
Yes.
It started with Eve reminiscing. And lots of people, when they reach into...
This girl, describe her there again.
Yes, you want me to describe Eve again?
Yes.
Okay. She's young, she's beautiful, intelligent. She's also very reserved, and she's searching for happiness. Her loyalty and faithfulness to her boyfriend transforms her into a prisoner of love.
Okay, and she was
So-
sitting in the backyard on a rock, contemplating and thinking,
Yes.
how do I go about finding my...
No,
Okay.
actually,
I'm just trying
she's
to...
thinking of how good it used to be and the
Yes.
position that she's in now.
Oh,
Because now she's realizing something isn't right.
Okay.
you know, and I think that's a typical human behavior. When things are not going right, we just stare, and then we start going back in the past.
Yeah.
Crises have a way of causing us to think. And that's what happened because the film depicts that because of the position she was in now, she began to think.
To think, yes.
You know? And that's what Atahlia is saying. How did I get here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Yeah.
And sometimes people think, am I that stupid? And then they repeat it.
Yeah.
So you gotta come and see it. You gotta come. I mean, listen, I act. I'm a part of the film. And while looking at the film, you wouldn't believe I talk into the film like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are there because it is a very like I said, there's heavy emotions in the film. It's very tense. So when you're looking at it, like you have to be heavily intoxicated or really tired to sleep on that film.
Does that mean maybe you want to give kudos to those people who acted in the film?
Of course.
If he's talking about that emotion, he can only mean that these people have been doing an excellent job. But you said you were with us for
3 months.
For 3 solid months.
That would be enough to get them really into it.
Yes. And again, you know, Earl Duzong, he did a real awesome job in getting the cast ready for filming.
Yeah.
Filming took us a little over a month. Well, a month means 32 days.
Yeah.
You know, spread out from August, from April to August. So 4 months of filming, but all together 32 days. But Earl just put it out of everybody.
How about editing? Editing supposed to take a lot.
Editing took a long time.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. And Dennis did. Dennis is the best of the best. He gave me scraps. He's good.
You
So
gave me
with us on
fire.
film, we have Miss Lavon, we have Julie Jones, we have some heavy hitters. There's
Yeah,
Lavon
yeah,
Henry,
seasoned people.
yes, Julie
Yeah.
Jones. We have Denicio Duzong. We have Roxy. We have original music from Collivier Phillips. He literally wrote the song for the film called Living Life. And we also have original music from Sean Jacquet. We have one from Roxy. And we have one from Hot Shots featuring Conscience and Sterling Kelly. So we have original music straight through. Everyone did a great job.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
It's good that you were able to blend with original music and not
Yeah.
having to choose
Yeah.
something from
It
somebody.
was important to do that, you know.
Yeah.
So it's total 100%
When you going to go with
Martin.
this anyway?
As far as we can. As far as we can. So,
You're going to make sure that most, if not all, of St. Martin see this.
yes,
By the
we're
way,
pushing
who
it.
would you recommend? I know you're going to tell me everyone, but there is an important group of people who should see this. Who would you determine is that important group?
Okay. Our target group, young people, young adults, Christians, non-Christians. We're just targeting everyone because the effect can reach anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
You know, as a teen growing up, you know, when the AIDS Foundation came around and started talking, they would say, okay, you're with somebody now, but do you know how many partners this person had?
Yes.
You understand? So we're trying to reach as much people as we can, and we're trying to reach the younger, the youths and the...
The reason why I asked that question is because I get the feeling, of course, that the younger person, young adult,
Yes.
would be the one that benefits the most. Because
Yes.
even if my mother sees it, she can't relay anything to me to change my mind. See what I mean?
Yes.
But if they see it for themselves,
Yes.
there's no telling what impact it would have on
Yes.
them directly.
Yes. So we're targeting them.
Yeah.
So we are hoping that, you know, during the premiere stage,
Yes.
that we can also reach the schools. We're looking for sponsorship to sponsor some school children to come to see it as much as possible. And we are hoping that youth groups, wherever they are, that they will come and that they will take it back to their youth groups and have discussions with them as well. Whether it's in a classroom or whether it's at a church or any organization that deals with young.
Persons to have that discussion.
Yeah.
We want to start to talk about relationship, sexuality. You know, persons have to begin to understand that we are human beings and we are going to be attracted to the opposite sex.
Yes.
And you have to know how to go about making those kind of decisions because ultimately you can suffer consequences.
Yeah.
I am a strong proponent of marriage, but I always tell persons, a marriage can lift you high. but it can bring you down very, very fast if you make a bad choice. And so we want to have that discussion.
So the final decision to get married don't necessarily have to be for the reason of becoming free to have sexual intercourse with your partner.
That is just one part of. If that is not a part of the decision, then you have a serious problem. We want to make sure that people understand all the different aspects. You know, how are you, it's called relationship. Are you able to relate to each other?
Yeah.
Are you able to surround a common goal?
Yeah.
You understand? Are you able to support each other? Do you have the kind of mindset that says we are going so? Because if people have two different mindsets, you're going to have problem. If you're not able to relate, you're going to have problem. There are persons who may be able to engage sexually real good, but then they're not able to relate. So the only thing that they have going is the sexual aspect, and then the relationship still goes sour anyhow.
Yeah.
And sometimes children come in the midst because the sexual aspect is functional, and the children suffer. You see, and then as a result of that, now sometimes that affect children negatively, and they become a nuisance to the society. So we want to make sure we get that kind of conversation that we have. This is a very important part of the building of every nation. And I think Atahlia did a tremendous job. And I know she wouldn't really toot herself so much, so let me do it for her. She did a phenomenal job in the script. When she sent me the script and I read it the first time, and I was like, what? You know, and then the cast, St. Martin, the cast made it happen. And this is everybody from here. Even some of the businesses who chip in and do little things and so forth allow to use the restaurants and their homes and different things. St. Martin make this film happen. And that is why you see St. Martin have to come and view St. Martin.
By the way, all the scenes are done here on St. Martin.
All the scenes are done right here in St. Martin, yes.
All right. Let me ask you something about what you're talking about, the relationship aspect. You don't think we speak of it enough?
No, we don't have enough proper conversations about it. We have loose conversations, we have uninformed conversation, but we don't have intelligent conversation, and we are having some serious problem because, you know, people talk from the experience. Your experience may have taught you something, but it's not always the best position to speak from. So somebody go have an experience and they say, don't trust the man are good. Don't trust the woman are good. Listen, just live your life, do what you want. Listen, you cannot live your life just for you. You are living in a world with people. True. And regardless of whatever you do is going to affect somebody. So experience is not always the proper basis to speak from. We need to have more informed conversation, more intelligent conversation, and the information is there. We have numerous research that is out there that we can use to start to have better conversation when it comes to relationship and sexuality.
Thank you for sending me.
That's our goal.
Thank you for sending me the trailer. The next
yes.
time we talk about this,
yes.
I would be able to share that
Yes.
because I think this, you think, would definitely start the conversation.
Yes,
Yes.
it
After
will.
seeing this film.
Yes,
It-
it will. It definitely
You would want to talk. The film is very powerful, and you know the fact that we're having the platform to discuss after, people would want to have the conversation. It's you're going to see things that you can relate to. It's not abstract from the mind where you just imagine it. No. Some persons who are sitting there, you might be amazed that person might come and see it and identify with it.
Yeah.
Because it is that practical.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really, really, really good film. And that's why you see I want persons to come and see it so that they can have the conversation.
Yes.
In the BOAZ aspect of, the biblical aspect of BOAZ, the story of BOAZ, what can you share about the story of BOAZ
In the
briefly
Bible.
in the Bible that has a practical presence of a principle of some kind?
You know, Boaz was a wealthy guy and he was of a royal lineage. Boaz could have gotten any woman that he wants, you see. But Ruth, from the biblical perspective, Ruth, who was there, it is the advice of Naomi, her mother-in-law, that really made her attractive to Boaz. Her beauty captured him, all right? But what really made her attractive was the advice, because Naomi began to tell her how to function like a wife. She having the understanding of what Jewish men were looking for. So her counsel now, when she tell her, listen, go by his feet and do X, Y, and Z. And she go there, the man wake up in the morning and it's like, what? So it captures him and it make him begin to move towards that end. That's why I tell persons, there's a difference. A woman must become a wife, but there's a difference between a woman and a wife. You have to be trained to be a wife, And that's we're not having those kind of conversations.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
people
yeah.
end up now being attracted to the opposite sex, highly intelligent, but what happened, the qualities that make a woman a wife are absent because they're not taught. The qualities that make a man a husband is absent because he was not taught what it means to be a husband. So we have relational problems. So that part is coming out heavily in the film.
Yes, and
So-
one other thing,
Yeah.
Boaz in the Bible, he was also a very respectable man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you follow the story, you know, one of the advice from her mother-in-law was, you know, go by his bedside at night. I think that was really bad advice. But Boaz proved to be a respectable man
Yes.
that
He had
respects
standards.
women.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's where the whole concept comes. Let's find a man that respects you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Understand?
she wasn't
The respect.
already damaged goods.
But she was married before. She
Naomi?
was married before.
Well,
Her
she
husband died.
Her husband died, yeah. I wonder if it would be fair to say that she was damaged goods. Because what happened, she had the privilege of leaving,
Yeah.
but she was a loyal person. There were
Yeah.
qualities in her. Because remember, the other sister
Stayed
left.
back, yeah.
The moment that she got the opportunity and was sent back, she went. But the loyalty, the commitment of Ruth being an outside person to the Jewish race, but she was willing to commit to the family, because when you marry in biblical time, you marry into a family. And she accepted that part of her. I'm into this family, and she stayed. You know, so that really speaks of her character. So I wonder, she would have been hurt that her husband died, yes. But I think I wouldn't really say that she was damaged good in the fact that she was now free to do whatever she wants.
Yeah, but in your story.
Oh yeah, in the film.
In the film.
In the
yes.
film,
She
yeah.
was.
Yes, she was hurt.
healed-
She was
healed
hurt
and
by
she-
love.
Yes. So there's some hesitation, I'm sure.
And I
towards-
like the fact that you said damaged goods, because there's one part, you know, in the film that kind of brings that out. But you have to come to see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You have to
Yeah.
come to see it. So we have tickets on sale. It would be nice if everyone would purchase tickets.
What
You
are the
can
price of the
visit
tickets
The
for
early
the
bird,
premiere?
the premiere $50, 50. Red carpet. We want all distinguished people to
So
be
there's
there.
going to be a big show
A big
prior to it actually getting
Yes,
started.
yes. And it's just
Mind
being
you, only
proud.
the cast may have seen it. And those people who are involved in the production.
Yeah.
So this is a privileged moment
Yes.
to be
it
one
is.
of the first.
And proud. Not only proud, but it's a proud moment for St. Martin.
Yeah.
It is.
And you're going to see only scenes of St. Martin.
Yes. Yes. Everything is St. Martin. How we speak. St. Martin.
You had to do any designs to bring anything up, or you just get these locations and just go ahead and shoot?
Well, yes, that's what we did. We looked for locations that were suitable, and we found some. Can I shout out to a few of those people
Sure,
that helped
I
us?
think you should,
So, of
because
course, yes.
they
So-
contributed.
Yes, so we have Gas King, of course, and then we have Associated Sound, My 88.3 FM, Spaceless Garden, Mr. Dinicio Wyatt, he's also in the film. And then we have Marvel Verwin, the New Testament Baptist Church, Pastor Nanton and his church family, Irie Garden on the water plant, Ocean 82 in Grand Cars, Sanatorium 978, Share Restaurant, Mr. Davis on the front street, Flowers Are Us, Daphne Illis from Sector Healthcare, the Sundial School, Cospro, and Dr. Arundel, Madam Estate.
You're all over the
Healthcare
place,
Center.
man.
We were, St. Martin came out. St. Martin people came out.
You had any
and
driving
they showed
scenes?
up.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Moore. Buy your ticket, Mr. Moore. Please come. Tickets can be bought
I'm
on
gonna
K-Bag.
get ruthless with you right now. You are seriously telling me buy a ticket?
No, Mr. Moore.
You should be inviting me to that red carpet.
Mr. Moore,
and-
please come to our red carpet.
You are
That's
supporting.
not that.
You're supporting. Listen, this is now.
After giving
This
you
is your
this kind of
support.
exposure. Well. If you want to ask me to contribute, I can understand.
Mr. Moore, please come to our premiere night with your suit on and your camera in hand.
Formally dressed.
Formally dressed.
But we're looking forward to a great evening,
you know,
a great premiere.
You know what, Wendell, listen, we have to come to the position, and I'm hoping, I believe St. Martin is there, where we start to big up our own.
Yeah.
This is our thing. This is our people. Everybody there is us. This is who we are. And, you know, we are putting on this kind of production, and it is now being displayed, you would want to be a part. It's supposed to be a proud moment because the scene, the people, everything is who we are. So that's why you see we're telling persons, come out. Let us lift up our own. All right, and we are there ready. So we're just here to give persons the encouragement. Get your early bird ticket for those who need it, but for the premiere night, make sure that you're a part of it.
Yeah, you were about to tell me about the premiere. I interrupted you.
Yes, the tickets can be bought from KBAN, kban.sx, KBAND.
That's an app that is used online.
Yes,
where you can buy
for
tickets.
shows, yes. And if not, my number is 520-1814. I'm at Sundial School, 520-1814. We're looking at other locations, Family Bookstore, where tickets can also be bought. So please.
And this is going to be all of it next month.
Next
folks,
month,
so you can plan.
You can plan. I know January is a hard month for everybody, but we're going to be screening it for the whole month of February on the weekends.
Okay.
So even if you don't catch the first week, we'll be there the second week and the third week at the Cultural Center.
Okay, so for the premiere, the
Yes.
tickets are $50.
Yes.
You say you had something about early bird.
Yes, early bird for the regular tickets on the other nights.
Oh, for the other nights.
Yes,
Okay.
so
and what would be the price for the nights?
Okay, the
at
early bird for
Cultural
the
Center?
other at the Cultural Center is $15
Okay.
and $25 for the regular.
Okay.
Now everybody was like, well, you can go to the movies and pay an $8.50 ticket. Well,
Yeah.
that comes out in the box office. We cannot because they have total funding. We are just starting. We're just putting our foot in there, but we need your support.
And you know what? They would should say, help us to compete. So if you help us now, they will come and we'll be able to
on that
compete.
big box office, yes.
I have to give you a lot of credit, Atahlia, because
Thank
you didn't stop at
Mother knows.
Mother Knows Best. And I really was thinking that what would be, I think you and I had a conversation about Father Knows Best.
Yes, you did. You're not the only one. Many persons did.
Yeah, I would have wanted to
persons
believe
did.
Pastor Nanton that that is where she might be going next. But of course, she put up the wedding and St. Martin is my home. Although it is a short film, how short it is?
12 minutes.
Only.
Yes, and it brings awareness to love for country.
Okay.
Whether you're born here, just contribute positively where you are.
Mm.
So everything has an educational
This
component.
was the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Finding BOAZ.
Part 1.
Part
Volume 1, the
Volume
beginning.
1. Okay,
Yes,
so
and there's
there's
a
a
part
volume
2.
2 coming.
Yes.
Okay.
It's coming later down in this year.
All right.
God's spare life.
Well, we'll talk some more about it. I will invite you back in to make sure that people are up to
Yes.
speed with when the premiere is going to be on so that they can be there.
Great.
And Pastor Nanton, it's always a pleasure.
Pleasure,
Dr.
man.
Pastor.
Dr. Nanton, yes.
Pleasure is mine to be here.
Yeah. Maybe you can pay me a visit one of these days if you have the time. If you
Man.
get away from your sex discussion. And then
Of course. You just let me know. and
I'll
be
give you
here.
an invitation.
Yes.
All right, thank you, folks,
Okay,
for
thank
sharing on In The View, and thank you to all my ardent listeners who are always out there listening to the show because they like the interact part of it. But we sadly have to say goodbye and head over to the news. So that is also a privilege of mine to let you know that you can now hear what is hot as far as news is concerned. We'll see you next Wednesday and again tomorrow at 12. So you take care of yourself. Goodbye.
I am a strong woman. I didn't expect this from my first true love.
I love you, only you.
Oh, really?
Hey, pretty girl.
Hi, handsome.
Come up for 1 minute. Can I get your number?
Of course.
Who just sent you that?
Don't worry.
Who just sent you that, babe?
Bella, are you sick, Eve? Why are you dressed like that?
I want to share with you that Ruth was not running about looking for Tom, Dick, and Harry. She was just about her own business. Let him lead you to the field where the gleaners are. There, your BOAZ will find you. Put your hands together for the Lord.